Heather Behrens here. I am the co-anchor of the KRLD Morning News with Mike Rogers. I attended the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma, and I know you're asking, where is this? It's in Chickasha, Oklahoma, and I had a lot of fun there. We were the Drovers, and yes, I was a cheerleader. Can you tell? I have always loved news, and my parents would let me stay up late at night and I would watch the evening news with my dad. My idea of a great Sunday night was watching 60 Minutes. You know, I loved watching local news. And when I was homesick from school, I always wanted to watch the Today Show or Good Morning America. I guess I was kind of a weird kid, but I've always loved news and I've always been interested in what's going on in the world, so I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a reporter. And even when I was a kid, I got this tape recorder for Christmas one year and I took it around the neighborhood and I knocked on the doors and I was like, hey, Mr. Hamburger, are you ready for your interview? And I would just walk around and talk to my neighbors and record them. So I've always had a love for talking to people, telling stories. And I kind of took that love to college and I got my start in news, really writing for a rodeo magazine. I am from Oklahoma, and so by the time I left college, I had on-air tape, I had experience, and I just kind of packed up my car one day and I just announced, I'm moving to Dallas. And I got my start at KRLD in 1997. I was the overnight anchor for the Charlie Jones Show. I've worked on and off at KRLD since 1997, and I've, been in almost every position. I've been on air as an anchor, as a reporter, I've done editing. Whatever they need me to do, I've just always done it. I think my role models have always been really strong women. And that starts with my mom and my big sister. They both are very strong women. My mom was a registered nurse. She worked in an emergency room and in the intensive care unit. And I just saw firsthand the impact that she made in the community with her job. My sister is also a big inspiration and role model for me. She is a cancer survivor. She is also a special education teacher. She is also a very strong woman who has always known her purpose in life and has always sought to do that and make the world a better place. Both of them were always like that. My favorite part of being in news is just the energy of the newsroom. I love knowing what's going on in the world. I like feeling like I'm helping people. I know that seems strange. We're, presenting a lot of things that, maybe aren't always so pleasant. I was in the newsroom when 9/11 happened. That also happens to be my wedding anniversary. So I called my husband and I said, I don't know when I'll be home. It could be days. And that was very impactful. I also covered the explosion of the space shuttle Columbia. It exploded over Texas, and we were just running around trying to figure out what happened. It was insane to think we were looking for actual chunks of debris from a space shuttle, and it was horrific to think about the lives that were lost in that disaster. As an anchor, most recently, I just happened to be in the anchor chair when news of the death of Queen Elizabeth came down. And so when these moments come, you just have to put your own personal feelings aside, and you just have to get the job done. And you have to let the listener know what's going on. They get to decide how they feel about it. It's my job to present it to them fairly and accurately. One obstacle that I have faced personally is I had a really bad ski accident, a snow skiing accident, and I broke my leg, and I had fractured my tibia plateau, and I tore my meniscus, and I had 2 surgeries out of that and a long recovery with physical therapy. In fact, Roger Emmerich, who did sports here at KRLD, he was in a scooter the same time I was in a wheelchair. There's a fun little photo of us together. What I learned through that is that we live in a great country. I love the US, but we are not always handicap friendly. We're not always helpful when it comes to the disabled, and I think we could do better in that. I learned that firsthand, just maneuvering, people taking the handicap spots, people not opening doors or not being able to open a door by yourself. It really shifted my perspective on how a lot of Americans live. And they're often ignored, and I think we can do better. So my advice to a new journalist would be curious, be persistent, don't take no for an answer, because you're going to hear that quite a bit. I know I have. But just because someone tells you no doesn't mean that's forever. It just means no for right now. Be open to criticism and listen to it. Sometimes people are just mean and they want to be, but oftentimes they have something important to tell you and it can make you better. You just have to have a thick skin and you have to be really interested in the world. If you don't love news and you're not interested in what's happening around you, you will not like this job. It's a lot of work. You work holidays, but wow, the payoff is amazing. I love this job so much, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I didn't bore you with my little stories. Don't forget, you can tune in with Mike Rogers and I on the KRLD Morning News from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., and you can catch us in the Odyssey app.